Hello and welcome to the third development update on Fluid Designer. In this video, I want to demonstrate some very powerful features of the Data Manager. And the main feature that I'm going to be focusing on is how the Data Manager implements the pointer system. But before I get into that, I want to talk about the release of Fluid Designer. So before we release the official installs, we're going to go into a beta release. So if you want to be a part of this, then here's what you need to do. You're going to go to the link on your screen. I'll also have the link in the description of the video. But here you can register for the early beta release. So all you need to do is just fill out your name and email, and we'll send you a beta invitation. Now in this invitation, you'll get early access to the application, some sample data to work with, and some getting started training documentation. Now all of this is obviously going to be free, but we do ask that you provide us some feedback on your experience using these tools, explaining any problems you run into, suggestions for improvements, really anything that you think will help us develop these tools, because we really want to make sure that we have all of the technical problems sorted out before the official release. So sign up as soon as you can, because all the invitations are going to be sent out this Friday on April 11th. So if you're interested, go ahead and do that. But for now, let's go ahead and get into the demo of the Data Manager. Okay, so like I mentioned before, the main thing that I want to demonstrate is how the pointer system is implemented within the Data Manager. And in order to effectively demonstrate that, I need to have a room already designed. So let's go ahead and take a couple minutes here and design a simple kitchen. So here I'm just going to draw a couple walls, and I'll create a L-shaped room here, and I'll make it quite a bit bigger by increasing the X dimension of these walls here. And just so I'm not falling off the end of the world here, let me go and increase the grid lines. Okay. And now let's go ahead and place some of the key products that we're going to need. So let's go to the product library and go to our frameless cabinets. And then I'll switch to my base corner cabinets. And let's go and start with this. So we'll place this one on the back wall here on the left. And let's go to our tall cabinets, and let's place this two-door tall refrigerator here on the right. And then let's go back to our base cabinets and place our sink cabinet here right on the center of this wall. And since we want to have something to look at while we're washing the dishes, let's go ahead and go into our wall components and add a window on the center of this wall as well. So now we can look out the window. Now let's go ahead and switch to our appliances, and let's go ahead and add a dishwasher here on the right hand side of the sink. That'll be convenient. And let's go ahead and go back to our base cabinets, and now let's just fill this area here to the right with a cabinet, and let's go and fill this area here to the left with a two-door, two-drawer cabinet. Okay, so let's go and continue on this design, and let's go ahead and add a one-door, one-drawer base to the left-hand side of this corner cabinet to place it on this wall. And let's go ahead and add in some sort of oven. So let's go to our appliances and go to our ranges, and let's add this 36-inch range to the left-hand side of that product. And then let's go ahead and go back to our frameless cabinets, and let's go and add this one-door, one-drawer base again on the left-hand side. Okay, now let's go ahead and create some sort of a return by using a corner cabinet. Here we'll place this on the left, and then we'll go and just continue to place some base products here. So we'll use a two-door, two-drawer cabinet on the left-hand side of that, and then we'll just finish this off with a four-drawer base on the left-hand side of that. Okay, so now we have our base cabinets drawn. Let's go ahead and draw some countertops. So let's go to our countertops category, and let's drop this one here on the left hand side of this wall. And if we select this, we can go ahead and change its Y dimensions to bump up against that range, and then we can change its X dimension to bump up against this product here. 1, 2. Alright, great. Now we can see that we're not cutting a hole for this sink, but we can if we just select this object that's surrounding the sink and then shift select this countertop. We can just go to our tools, product tools, create Boolean subtraction, and that will automatically add that modifier in for us. Okay, so now let's go ahead and take another corner cabinet piece here, and let's just add it on the center, and here we can just position it where we want it to be. Okay, and let's go ahead and increase its X dimensions to bump up against the range, increase its Y dimensions, and we'll let it overhang a bit. And here, since we kind of want this to be a bar, let's go ahead and show these options and turn off this left rear splash. And if we want to, it's really nice because we have all of Blender's modeling capabilities, so we can make any modifications we want to this room right on the fly. So here, let's go ahead and open up the properties panel, and the first thing that we want to do, since this object is parametric, we need to apply its hook modifiers. So we can just select this button, and now when we tab into edit mode, let's go ahead and right click and go to the face select mode, and we'll select this back face here. We'll just drag it out, and then we'll go ahead and go to vertex select mode, select these corner vertices here, and then we'll go ahead and use the bevel tool just to create a bevel. Let's go and round that up. Okay, that looks pretty cool. And let's go ahead and do the same thing to this backsplash here. So let's go and apply its hook modifiers. We'll tap into edit mode. Go ahead and select these vertices here and use the bevel tool. And again, just round that up. Okay, so it's pretty nice just being able to make quick modifications to your room. And just to go ahead and also remove these exposed materials, let's go ahead and just select these products and turn on the finish to back option. That way we have this nice back panel added to these products. And this is going to be a left finish to back. Alright, so now let's go ahead and place a few upper cabinets. So let's go ahead and switch back to our frameless cabinets, go to our upper corner cabinet category, and let's go ahead and drop in this upper corner cabinet on this wall on the left. And we can switch back to our regular upper cabinets category, and let's go ahead and place this two-door upper with a microwave right on the center of this range, so it places that correctly. And then let's go ahead and just fill this gap with a two-door upper. And then let's go and just add a couple more of these to the left-hand side of this. Let's go and put a quantity of 2 here. And that adds those products there. Let's go and just finish this off with a couple more products here. So we'll add one to the right of that corner cabinet. And then we'll add one to the left of this tall cabinet here. Okay, so now we have all of our products added to our room. Now before we get into the pointer system, I want to show you something really quick, because as we've been designing this room, the data manager has been kind of working behind the scenes, organizing some of this information. And so if we switch over to our outliner, and if you're unfamiliar with Blender, the outliner is just basically the list representation of all of the data in our file here. And the naming convention might look a little bit strange, but here we have the type of the object, so this is the base point of the wall. We have the index that was assigned by the data manager, and then the name of that object. And if we open up this object, we can see all of its children. So as we've been adding these products to the wall, it's been automatically assigning those objects or those products as a child to that wall. And if we go a little bit deeper here, we can open up one of these products and we can see all of the inserts and parts that make up that product, and we can go even deeper and see all of the parts that make up that insert. Now this might look a little bit overly complicated to a lot of people, but if you've been using Blender for a while, you'll know that scene organization is extremely important. And so having the data manager kind of make all those calculations for you is a huge time saver. So right now let's just go ahead and switch back to our file browser space, and let's go ahead and talk about how the pointer system is implemented. So if we open up the global properties here on the left here, right now we're in our libraries tab, and up at the top we can see the path to where our library data is. We can see that we're using the sample specification group, and we can have as many of these as we want to, and this just determines how these pointers are set up. And so we can see here for this exposed exterior surfaces on our cabinets, it's set to this macchiato walnut material. And so if we go to our material library and switch to our wood grain category, if we drag this material into the scene, we can obviously assign it to individual objects, but that's kind of a pain to go through every single object and assign it. What we can do is we can type P on our keyboard. That will assign that material to this pointer, and then if we say OK, it'll replace all those materials in the scene. And so here, let's just go ahead and just kind of go into rendered mode here just to kind of get a better look at what we're dealing with here, kind of get a pretty picture. And let's go ahead and add a floor. So let's create a floor plane, and that will add that in for us. And let's just go ahead and put some materials on there. So let's go ahead and go to our flooring, and we'll add this hardwood floor to our floor. And let's go ahead and switch to our paint category and add this texture white paint to these walls here. Okay. And just to brighten up the scene a little bit, let's just add a simple sun lamp. I'm not worried about creating a pretty picture. I just want to kind of get this point across here. So let's just let this render for a second. So let's go and just try out another material here. If we open up our global properties again, let's go ahead and switch back to our wood grain here, and let's go ahead and try out this natural ash. So if we drag this into the scene, type P to assign to the pointer, hit OK, it will update all of our exposed material with that new material. Now I kind of like the darker material a little bit better, so we'll go ahead and just drag this back into the scene and reassign that back to our exterior here. And you may be asking how this is actually happening. And the way it's happening is here, if we just select one of these objects and open up our selection properties and go to our material tab, we can see here that this is the material, obviously that's assigned to the object that we have selected, which is just one of these doors here. But if we look beneath here, we can see that we have the material slot. It's given a name, so this is going to be the exterior surface. This doesn't really matter. But here we actually assigned a pointer to this material. So this is part of the library developer's job. When they're actually building these products, they just assign all of these material slots a pointer to be linked to. That way they can all be updated at one time. And so here, if we open up our tools, we can see here's all the pointers, and if we pull this down, we can see all the different pointers that we have. So we can change them on the fly here, or as we're designing products, we can change which pointers are assigned. And so that works really well, and it's really nice to be able to have this for professional designers, because they're constantly needing to be able to change between different finishes of wood grain for their client as they're designing these spaces for them. So it's really easy to see how the pointer system works really well with the materials, but we can actually take this a step further. Let's go ahead and switch back to material mode here, and let's see how we can actually implement that same functionality for parts. So let's go ahead and switch over to our part library here, and let's go to our cabinet parts, and then our, not our poles, let's go to our door panels. And so like I explained before, these products aren't just made out of single meshes. They're made out of parts and inserts, and so they know a little bit more about what's contained within themselves, and so that allows us to do some really cool things like this. So here we can drag this door panel onto this part right here, replace it, and it knows how to copy all of those drivers, all of the information that basically knows how to position itself. And so here, if we go ahead and let's go ahead and drag this over here. If we change the Z dimension, we can see that it knows how to still maintain its parametric ability. And so that's really cool. And so we can go through and we can obviously replace these individually, or like you might expect, if we open up our library panel here and we go to the bottom here, we have a couple part pointers. And so here we have our cabinet door style, our cabinet pull style. And so if we select this pointer here, we can find the door panel that we want to use in this scene, and we can drag it into the file and then hit P to replace all of those parts. Now this takes just a minute because it's making quite a few calculations. It's basically going through the entire scene trying to determine all of the parts that are assigned to that pointer, deleting but still maintaining all of their parametric ability, and then copying all of those parts and replacing them exactly where they need to be to replace all of the parts in the scene. So it's a really powerful feature, but you'll notice that we do need to add a progress bar or something just to basically let the user know that this operation is still running. And we'll try to find some ways to also speed it up. But it's a very powerful feature and something that the professional designers really need when it comes to designing these products. And so here we can see that it's finished replacing all of those panels, and that is quite cool. So that's really all I wanted to show in this video. Let's go ahead and just maybe set up something that's a little bit nicer to look at here. And let's go ahead and switch to our product library, and let's just put something nice. Let's go to our wall components. Let's just add this sliding glass door here on the left, and then maybe we can scoot it over just a bit. And now let's go ahead and go into rendered mode and see what we've got. So there's obviously more work that needs to be done to this scene. I can add a ceiling and crown molding, but really the purpose of this video was to show you how the pointer system works, because I believe it's really powerful and something that's needed for professional design. So anyway, I hope you guys learned something from this video. If you are interested, go ahead and sign up for the beta release. We're going to be sending out all those invitations on Friday, so we'll be talking to you guys then. All right, thanks. Bye.